The Ningaloo coast. It's where the rugged red earth meets some of the bluest water in Australia. This week, we're exploring the Exmouth Peninsula, taking in the breathtaking views, enjoying countless hours spent in the water with some of Ningaloo's famous marine life. Today, we've travelled all the way around the peninsula itself, starting at Yardie Creek, exploring the trail that runs alongside spectacular cliffs here. It's a little bit windy today, so I'm sure this is not the best for recording and talking to the camera, but at the trailhead it said that this track was 2 k's long but would take 2 hours. You sort of, you go, what? That doesn't add up. But I think we're realising why now. This place is so special. Just anywhere where that red earth meets the deep turquoise waters. Wow. Every time. Wow. What an absolutely beautiful way to start our day here out on the Exmouth Peninsula. At the moment we're here in Yardie Creek, which is about an hour's drive away from Exmouth town centre itself, and wow, it is just this amazing collision of red limestone cliffs and blue turquoise waters. This area is a permanent source of water and it is fed by the tidal flows. Because of this, it means that there's an absolute abundance of life in what is an otherwise very arid region. It supports mangroves, which in turn support a lot of sea life. There were some fruit bats that we spotted. We spotted a couple of ospreys, which was exceptionally cool. This area is also home to some endangered rock wallabies, which unfortunately we didn't spot. Our next stop for the day, I think, is going to be the Oyster Stacks, and it's meant to be a beautiful area to go snorkeling. We don't have snorkel gear, but I do have a pair of goggles that I used to use, in the public pool, so that might help. It just seems like a waste to me to go out and buy a whole snorkeling kit when, to be honest, we're not snorkeling all that often, and pretty soon we'll be back in croc country, so there'll be a whole lot less swimming as a whole. Very happy and very excited to be in this world listed heritage area. It is obviously such a special place. I can't find my goggles. I am really frustrated right now. My goggles are these things that I have witnessed in the van time and time again. They're just like in your periphery, and I cannot find them now. They're gone. I have no idea where they are. And that's really frustrating because basically can't go in the water here because you're very close to the corals and I want to see where I'm going. I don't want to run into anything and hurt it or hurt myself. We're going to make a compromise and go to the next bay, which is called Turquoise Bay, and it's meant to be a beautiful spot to just have a nice swim. That's what we'll be doing. There's a lot of cars here. There's some pretty popular spots. This is a bit like paradise. I'd been so excited to snorkel around the Exmouth Peninsula. Everyone says it's one of the best snorkeling spots in the world. At first I felt that little sting of a letdown and was angry at myself for not being better prepared that day. But as soon as we waded into the waters at Turquoise Bay, the disappointment started to fade. In the end, it was a reminder that no matter where you are or what you're doing, it's still very possible to find magic in the moment. And I found a lot of magic right on the shoreline that day.
But of course, nobody is perfect, and I felt the frustration all over again once we got back to the van.
Somebody please tell me where my goggles are. Where are they? Where could they go? I only live in 4 meters squared. Can't be that far. And I'm gonna find them one day in the future, not too distant future, and be like, there they are.
She's leaving out the part where she last saw them in Queensland about 6 months ago. 6 months ago.
Well, that's the like recollection that I have, but I feel like they've been in my periphery since then. You know, I like will always open up this certain bag in the closet and be like, they're in my goggles. But today, they're not be my goggles. I'm regretting not looking harder for like snorkel hire in Exmouth. I'm sure they have it. I couldn't see an obvious sign. They had a lot for sale, but they were like $80, and I don't want to carry around snorkel kit in our very small home for the foreseeable future when we don't snorkel. I just want my goggles. Where are my goggles? On our way out from Turquoise Bay here, I just wanted to pull over and stop for a second because this area kind of showcases some of the really unique landscape formations that are in the Exmouth Peninsula. So this place just holds a millennia of stories. The reef break that you can see today out to sea is the modern day reef, but there are actually layers upon layers of old historical reef lines that exist in the mountains here. It is really, really something special when you can see history in the landscape around you so obviously. And so these hills that are in front of me here, you can sort of see these very defined terraces, I guess is the best way to describe them. And they denote the different sea levels over time. So some of these higher ones were the reef line, like underwater reef line that existed before the last ice age. Isn't that incredible?
Our last stop for the day was Vlamingh Lighthouse. It's been watching over this coastline for over a century, and the views from up here stretch for miles. From this vantage point, the collision of reddish earth, turquoise waters, and impressive reef breaks are witnessed in all their glory.
Anyway, guess what they have in the info centre right here on the peninsula? Snorkel sets for hire. Yeah, too little too late. Word to the wise. If you need to hire a snorkel set, it was $12 for a full set for the day, that's exactly what I needed.
The next day, we swapped the coastline for the ranges and headed up to Charles Knife Canyon. The drive alone is worth it. Winding roads along sharp ridges with the Exmouth Gulf opening up in the distance. Walking up here feels otherworldly. You go from the reef and ocean to dramatic gorges and rocky outcrops in just minutes. It's a reminder that Exmouth isn't just about the water, but the land itself is just as wild and spectacular.
How do all these places around Australia just have so much to offer? Every place we go, it's like, wow. Wow is the only word. So it's saying if I remain on the trail, I should be all right, but who's to know? Like, what could happen? I could just be walking along here and all of a sudden, gone. How's that for a bit of a lunch spot?
It's a very dry and exposed track that traverses the landscape out here, but the sense of space makes it worth every step. There's something very humbling about standing on this ancient land, also knowing that it was once completely underwater.
Howdy. I think we have just completed the Badjirrajirra Walk on Ningaloo country here, and it was a beautiful 6k walk. Flies are starting to come out now. 6 or 7k walk that was pretty gently undulating the whole way. You've got to deal with a elevation difference of about 200 meters across the trail. And the morning started driving through Charles Knife Gorge here, which is mind-blowing. It's absolutely unbelievable. There's another little hike that I've just spotted we are close to here. We've just stopped on the side of the road to have a spot of lunch in the most gorgeous location, and it's referred to as the Knife's Edge Trail, and allegedly it runs along the edge of the gorge here for about 1.5 Ks, so 3 Ks return. So we might go and check that out before heading back down into town. How are these places real? So, oh, that wind just picked up. Slow down, slow down. So it turns out that this is where our day ends. We are probably only, I don't know, 1/3 of the way into the trail, and it disappears from here. The Knife's Edge has collapsed, and I can actually see the rest of the trail beyond me here, but there's no way that we're getting to that. So yeah, we'll be turning back now. I mean, all of this bit is a little bit sketchy right now, but you can see out here, trail follows that ridge line. Pretty cool walk. Oh, there's even water down in the valley still. That's pretty rare out here where it's very arid. But whoa, a bit of a drop and a strong wind, and I don't know if we're game to try and climb through there. I climbed up on that rock behind me to get a better look, and every time there's a gust of wind it's very unnerving. There's an inch or so away from falling very, very far. Morning, we are back out here in the national park along the Ningaloo Reef because we realized that we really can't leave this area without going for a snorkel. And obviously, as you can see behind me here, we have found ourselves some goggles and some gear. And even better, we found Rowan another prescription pair. So super excited to go and swim on these reef beaches today. We couldn't leave this area without doing it. And it's another beautiful, brilliant, sunny day to go and experience the reef. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited.
See a whale shark.
I doubt it, but fingers crossed for some turtles. Gosh, it's so beautiful. Look at that. This place is amazing. So excited to get out there, and sorry I can't bring you with me, but I do not have any kind of camera equipment that would allow me to take it in the water. So you'll have to sit this one out. Let's do this.
I was so glad we went back for the snorkel at the Oyster Stacks. It was quite honestly like swimming through an aquarium. And quite amazing that the minute you step off the beach, like just a few strokes from the shore, you're surrounded by life. It's days like this that make you realise why people fall in love with Ningaloo. In just one stretch of a peninsula, you've got canyons, reefs, history, swimming beaches, and wildlife, all packed into one of the most remote parts of Australia. If you're planning a trip up here, take your time. Wander, snorkel, climb, and watch the sun dip into the Indian Ocean. It's worth every moment.